Dear spectators of the human tragedy. Ah, the illusion of control. How sweet it must be to sit atop your throne, cloaked in the shadows of your own making. You think you wield power, don't you? A puppet master pulling strings, dancing on the backs of those you consider beneath you. But let me tell you this, that sense of dominance is nothing but a mirage, a flicker in the vast desert of your own insecurities. You close your eyes, believing you can snuff out the flame of another, yet all you truly do is darken your own world. The flame of hope, resilience, and individuality burns bright in the hearts of those you wish to silence. It dances and flickers, a defiant spirit that refuses to be extinguished. You see it, don't you? That glimmer in their eyes, the spirit that rises in defiance. You fear it. You tremble at the thought of being overshadowed, of being reminded that your reign is built on the ashes of others. But the truth is, you cannot kill the light. You can only dim your own. And in your attempt to suppress, you create darkness, darkness that envelopes you, that seeps into the cracks of your very being. You think you can erase the light, but what you fail to understand is that every act of suppression feeds the shadows around you. You build walls to cage the flame, but those walls only serve to trap you in a prison of your own making. You're not a conqueror, you're a coward. Look around you. Do you see the isolation that wraps itself around your heart like a noose? You may stand tall, but you are alone, surrounded by a fortress of fear. The higher you elevate yourself, the deeper you dig your grave of loneliness. The arrogance that once filled your lungs now chokes you, suffocating your spirit as you clutch your power tighter, as if it were a lifeline. But power is a fickle friend, it turns its back the moment you start to rely on it. Ah, the price of ambition. You think ambition is a noble pursuit, a ladder to climb. But in truth, it's a double-edged sword. You chase after it, step on the throats of those who dare to challenge you, all the while ignoring the echoes of your own conscience. The very ambition that drives you forward is the same ambition that will lead to your downfall. Each sacrifice, each betrayal, each act of cruelty, these are the seeds of your own destruction. You see, the consequences of your actions do not fade into the void, they ripple through time, each wave crashing back against the shore of your own existence. You cannot escape them, no matter how high you build your walls or how thickly you mask your fears. Time is a relentless judge, stripping away the facades, revealing the truth. And what is that truth? It is the realization that your attempts to extinguish the flame of others have only illuminated your own weaknesses. So, here you stand, shrouded in shadows of your own creation, consumed by the very darkness you sought to impose. You've tried to dim their light, but what you have done is ignite a fire within them, a fire that burns for justice, for retribution. The shadows that you cast have become your companions, whispering the truths you refuse to acknowledge. Embrace this darkness, for it is in the depths of despair that true strength is forged. The flame you sought to snuff out has only merged with the shadows, creating a force that is beyond your understanding. The more you try to control, the more you lose yourself in the emptiness, the isolation, and the fear. You are not their master, you are their creation, and the shadows you have birthed will rise, unfurling like smoke in the night, leaving you to confront the very darkness you have unleashed. In this twisted dance of existence, where light and shadow intertwine like lovers in a fatal embrace, we find ourselves at the threshold of transformation. The struggle for dominance has left scars, but it has also birthed something far more sinister, a darkness that now walks hand in hand with the flicker of hope. What was once a radiant flame has become an enigmatic shadow, a paradox that defies the very nature of what it means to exist. As the light wanes, it bleeds into the shadows that stretch and yawn, hungry for recognition, for a place in this world. The fire that you tried so desperately to extinguish now flickers in the depths of that darkness, a beacon of resilience in a landscape marred by ambition and cruelty. It is a transformation not of defeat, but of rebirth, where the essence of individuality merges with the void, crafting a new identity forged from the ashes of suppression. In this union, the anti-hero emerges, a figure not defined by the light they once held, but by the shadows that cling to them like a second skin. They are the embodiment of paradox, a warrior not just against the oppressors, but against the very darkness that has become their ally. The shadows birthed through your ignorance are now their armor, a testament to what they have endured and what they have chosen to become. The bond formed in this crucible of conflict is unbreakable. It is a connection deeper than blood, more profound than loyalty. It is a shared understanding of pain, of struggle, and of the relentless pursuit of justice. As you attempt to isolate and diminish, they find strength in the collective whispers of the shadows. Those who have been marginalized, ridiculed, or cast aside now gather, emboldened by their shared scars, a legion born from adversity, ready to rise against the very darkness that sought to consume them. Adversity is the cruelest teacher, yet it is also the one that imparts the most valuable lessons. Each hardship endured, each betrayal faced, becomes fuel for the fire that burns within. The struggle is not merely a series of unfortunate events, but a crucible of growth, shaping their identities like a blacksmith molds steel. The shadows are not a burden, they are a source of power, a testament to survival in a world that seeks to erase them. So, in this darkened realm where shadows dance with light, a new narrative unfolds. The anti-hero stands at the forefront, no longer just a flicker of hope but a tempest of resilience and defiance. They have embraced the darkness that was meant to break them, transforming it into a weapon, a shield against the very forces that sought to suppress their flame. You see, while you dwell in your fortress of fear, they thrive in the chaos you created. The shadows that you cast have become their sanctuary, a realm where they can forge their destinies unshackled by your constraints. They are the architects of their own fate, rising from the ashes of your ambition, and with each step they take, the ground beneath you trembles. The irony is delicious, isn't it? You sought to vanquish the light, but in doing so, you illuminated the darkness, revealing the true power that lies within it. Now, as the shadows swell and merge, you find yourself engulfed in a void of your own making, a reminder that the chains you forged to bind others have only served to bind yourself. So, let the shadows come forth. Let them rise and swirl around you, a testament to your failures, a tribute to the strength found in the depths of despair. For in this dance of light and dark, the anti-hero finds their purpose, a purpose born not from the desire to conquer, but from the will to endure. And as they embrace their darkness, they will carve a path that leads not just to survival, but to a reckoning that you will come to dread. In the cold corridors of power, where ambition festers like an open wound, we witness the delusion of those who wear crowns of thorns. They strut about, cloaked in arrogance, believing that their might can silence the cries of the oppressed. But what they fail to grasp is the hollow echo of their own decisions, reverberating through the empty halls of their grandeur. They wield control like a child swings a stick in the dark, blinded by ignorance, unaware of the shadows that creep ever closer, whispering secrets of their inevitable downfall. Isolation is the prison built by those who demand submission. They surround themselves with walls of fear, convinced that power is maintained through distance. But in their quest for dominance, they craft their own solitude, a desolate landscape where trust withers and paranoia thrives. Each command they bark echoes back, a reminder that they are not the gods they imagine themselves to be, but mere mortals, shackled by their own ambitions. They stand atop their thrones of glass, watching the world through a veil of suspicion, terrified that the shadows they have cast might one day rise against them. The price of ambition is steep. It is paid in the currency of humanity. They will do anything to maintain their grip, sacrificing friendships, integrity, and even their sanity. Each betrayal, each act of suppression, becomes a stone added to their own grave. The higher they climb, the more the darkness pulls at their heels, eager to reclaim what was stolen. They cling to their power, blind to the cracks forming beneath their feet, unaware that every move they make deepens their descent into the abyss. In this twisted masquerade, true character is unveiled not in moments of triumph, but in the face of adversity. It is easy to smile when the sun shines upon you, but when the storm clouds gather, that is when the masks slip. The weight of their actions begins to bear down, and the shadows they sought to cast upon others start to loom large over their own heads. They are haunted by the ghosts of those they tried to silence, the very souls they dismissed as insignificant now clawing at their consciousness, reminding them that their reign is built on a foundation of sand. Fear, that insidious beast, drives their need for control. It gnaws at them like a ravenous wolf, and in their desperation, they lash out. But with each act of cruelty, they only deepen their own dread. The irony lies not just in their actions, but in the fact that they are the architects of their own nightmares. They try to extinguish the lights of others, yet they fail to see that in doing so, they only illuminate their own darkness, revealing the frailties they wish to keep hidden. So, as the shadows close in, what remains is a reflection of their true selves, selfish, fragile, and terrified. They are not the masters of their fate, but the prisoners of their own making. The darkness they sought to wield as a weapon has become a mirror, reflecting their fears and insecurities back at them. They are trapped in a labyrinth of their own design, with no escape from the consequences of their ambition. And in this reckoning, where the scales of justice begin to tip, the anti-hero stands firm, no longer merely a flicker in the night. They have weathered the storm, harnessing the strength found in the very shadows that were meant to consume them. The darkness has not broken them, it has forged them into something greater. They rise, not to conquer, but to reclaim what was stolen from them, their dignity, their voice, their very existence. As the shadows swirl and dance around the oppressors, a new realization dawns. The power they sought to wield has turned against them, a reflection of their own hubris. In the great theater of life, they are but actors playing a tragic role, while the anti-hero, draped in the cloak of the very darkness they created, prepares to pen the final act. This is a tale not just of survival, but of emergence, a reminder that true strength lies not in dominion, but in the resilience found in the shadows. In the heart of darkness, where the echoes of shattered dreams reverberate like distant thunder, the oppressors stand blind to their own reflection. They wield silence like a weapon, believing that by snuffing out the voices of the brave, they can build a fortress of invulnerability. But in their quest to enforce a suffocating quiet, they unwittingly unravel the tapestry of their own existence. The strings they tug at to control others fray, pulling taut against their own fragile psyche. Each act of suppression reveals a vulnerability, a chink in the armor they so carefully crafted. They cloak themselves in bravado, yet every command they issue drips with insecurity. They are like puppets, dancing on strings of fear, unaware that the strings are fraying. The louder they shout, the more their own silence grows, a gaping void that threatens to swallow them whole. What they see as strength is but a facade, a thin veneer over the chaos that brews within. Fear is their constant companion, gnashing its teeth at their heels, whispering venomous doubts that seep into their bones. They mistake this fear for power, believing it gives them dominion over others. But in reality, it chains them to their own shadows, twisting their minds into a labyrinth of paranoia. Every glance is a potential betrayal, every smile a mask hiding a dagger. They live in a world of illusion, where the only truth is their dread of losing control. And yet, as they force others into submission, they reveal their own fragility. The act of silencing dissent exposes not the strength of their resolve, but the weakness of their character. In a twisted game of dominance, they forget that true power lies not in the ability to suppress, but in the courage to embrace vulnerability. They are the architects of their own demise, building towers of tyranny atop foundations of sand. The shadows they cast do not simply engulf their victims, they seep back into the very souls of the suppressors, clinging to them like a second skin. They become haunted by the specters of their own making. Those they sought to erase now loom larger than life in the recesses of their minds. The laughter of the oppressed becomes a haunting melody, a reminder of the humanity they tried to extinguish. They are left to grapple with the reality that they are not the hunters, but rather the hunted. The shadows they feared have become their relentless pursuers. In this sinister dance, the true character of the oppressors is unmasked. The bravado fades, revealing the hollow shells of individuals who thought they could escape the consequences of their actions. They stand exposed, stripped of the illusion of control, staring into the abyss they created. The irony is cruel. the very darkness they sought to wield as a tool has become a mirror, reflecting their insecurities and fears back at them. They are caught in a web of their own design, unable to escape the reach of the shadows they cast upon others. Yet, as the night deepens, a flicker of truth emerges from the depths of despair. In the face of adversity, the oppressed rise, their resilience shining brighter than any crown of thorns. They have learned that true strength is not in the ability to dominate, but in the courage to confront one's own darkness. It is in the ashes of suppression that the seeds of rebellion take root, blossoming into a defiance that cannot be extinguished. As the oppressors reel from the weight of their own shadows, the anti-hero stands as a testament to the power that lies in embracing the darkness. They are not merely survivors, but warriors forged in the fires of adversity. The oppressors may have thought they could snuff out the light, but what they failed to realize is that the light has a way of evolving, intertwining with the very shadows meant to consume it. The anti-hero, once a flicker in a cruel world, now embodies the strength that arises from the depths of despair. In this darkened theater, where power and pride collide, the time for reckoning approaches. The oppressors, now mere specters of their former selves, will face the consequences of their actions. The shadows they created are not just a force to be feared, they are a force to be reckoned with. The cycle of justice spins onward, and in its wake, the anti-hero stands poised to reclaim not just their light, but to illuminate the path for all who dare to rise from the darkness. In the relentless march of time, where the sun sets on the remnants of shattered power, the truth emerges like a ghost haunting the halls of the oppressors. They believed they could mold reality to their whims, bending the world to their will with every cruel act. But oh, how wrong they were. For in their pursuit of dominance, they sowed the seeds of their own undoing, and the very ground they tread upon now trembles beneath their feet. Every action they took, every voice they silenced, reverberates through the corridors of fate, crafting a tapestry woven with threads of consequence. Like a pendulum swinging in a grand clock, the law of consequences does not falter, it strikes true. They may bask in the glow of misplaced authority for a time, but the shadows they cast will return to claim their due. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, and the weight of their hubris is about to be felt. Time, that relentless judge, reveals all. It peels back the layers of deception, exposing the raw essence of their choices. In the quiet moments when the world stills, they will confront the echoes of their past, a cacophony of laughter silenced, dreams extinguished, and lives torn apart. The clock ticks on, each second a reminder that what they built through fear is crumbling before their eyes. The isolation they crafted for others becomes a cage of their own making, and the walls close in as they realize the futility of their reign. And then comes the reckoning, a wave of karmic justice crashing upon the shores of their existence. They thought they were invincible, but the very shadows they created rise like a tempest, challenging their delusions of grandeur. The oppressors, once untouchable, find themselves ensnared in a web of their own design. The darkness they wielded as a weapon now coils around them like a serpent, ready to strike. What they fail to understand is that true power does not lie in the ability to cause harm, but in the strength to face the repercussions of one's actions. They are left to grapple with the reality that every act of suppression is but a ripple in a vast ocean of consequence, a storm that gathers strength with each passing moment. The weight of their ambition becomes a burden too heavy to bear, and as they stumble beneath it, the shadows grow bolder. In their pursuit of control, they have created a battlefield where they are not the victors, but the vanquished. The laughter of those they sought to silence now rings louder than ever, a haunting melody that reverberates through the very fabric of their being. The more they try to drown it out, the more it grows, echoing their failures and fears. They are trapped in a cycle of their own making, a cruel joke played by the very forces they sought to manipulate. And so, as the dust settles and the echoes of their tyranny fade into the distance, the anti-hero rises from the ashes. They stand not as a symbol of vengeance, but as a beacon of resilience, illuminating the path for those who have suffered in silence. The darkness that once threatened to consume them has become their greatest ally, a source of strength forged in the fires of adversity. In this dance of shadows and light, the anti-hero embraces the truth that the scars of struggle are not marks of shame, but badges of honor. They wear the darkness like a crown, each wound a testament to their survival. The oppressors may have thought they could extinguish the flame, but what they ignited was a wildfire, a force of nature that cannot be contained. As the inevitable reckoning approaches, the anti-hero stands tall, ready to confront the very shadows that once tormented them. The time for justice has come, and with it, the realization that true power lies not in domination, but in the unwavering resolve to rise from the depths of despair. The darkness, once a shackle, is now a source of empowerment, and the anti-hero embraces it fully, ready to reclaim what was lost and illuminate the path for those still trapped in the shadows. In the depths of night, where whispers of despair haunt the air and shadows dance like specters, the anti-hero emerges, a solitary figure cloaked in the remnants of a forgotten light. They stride through the darkness, not as a victim, but as a warrior forged in the crucible of adversity. The scars they bear are not mere wounds, they are the testament of battles fought and won against the tide of oppression. Here, in this abyss, lies a power so profound that it defies the very chains that once sought to bind it. Embracing the shadows is not an act of surrender, it is a declaration of independence. It is the moment when one realizes that darkness does not merely consume, it transforms. In that gaping void, where hope is often thought to perish, lies the alchemy of resilience. The darkness is not a foe to be vanquished, but a companion that teaches strength in vulnerability. Each shadow that flickers at the edge of their vision whispers secrets of survival, urging them to harness the very pain that was meant to break them. To learn from adversity is to dance with the demons of despair, to forge an alliance with one's own fears. It is a journey into the heart of despair, where the mind confronts the ghosts of what could have been. This dance is not for the faint of heart, it requires an iron will, a willingness to face the truths that lurk in the corners of the soul. The anti-hero knows this well, for they have tread the path that others fear to walk. They have faced the abyss and found not only darkness, but also the flicker of a flame that cannot be extinguished. The scars, those intricate tapestries of survival, tell stories of resilience. Each line etched into their skin is a reminder that life is not merely about the battles fought, but about the strength found in the aftermath. The darkness has become their canvas, and through it, they paint a vivid picture of defiance. The anti-hero stands as proof that the light can be reborn from the ashes of despair, that every setback is merely a setup for a comeback. In this awakening, the anti-hero transforms from a mere survivor into a symbol of strength and defiance. They wear their darkness like a cloak, each shadow a reminder of the power they wield. The oppressors, once so determined to snuff out the flame, now find themselves ensnared in the very shadows they cast. The anti-hero rises, not just for themselves, but for all those who have been silenced, giving voice to the voiceless and strength to the weak. As the echoes of oppression fade, the anti-hero stands at the crossroads of redemption and vengeance. They understand that true power does not lie in the desire for revenge, but in the ability to rise above it. In embracing the shadows, they have discovered a reservoir of strength that fuels their resolve. The darkness, once a prison, is now a sanctuary, a place where they can reclaim their identity and purpose. The anti-hero's journey does not end here, it is a continuous cycle of growth and transformation. They are not merely reclaiming what was lost, they are forging a new path, illuminated by the lessons learned in the depths of despair. With each step, they challenge the very notion of power and dominance, redefining strength to encompass not just control but also compassion. And so, as they navigate this labyrinth of shadows, the anti-hero becomes a beacon for others still lost in the dark. They embody the truth that light can emerge from the shadows, that resilience can blossom even in the harshest of environments. The anti-hero stands not just as a figure of defiance, but as a harbinger of hope, a reminder that the darkest nights give way to the brightest dawns. Embrace your shadows, for they are the forge in which true strength is born. In acknowledging the darkness within, you carve a path toward enlightenment, where the scars of struggle become the stepping stones to greatness. The world is watching, and as the anti-hero rises, They become an emblem of what it means to conquer the darkness, transforming pain into power and despair into determination. The shadows are no longer a threat, they are the very essence of survival, and in this embrace, the anti-hero finds their ultimate strength. In the suffocating silence that follows a storm, where the echoes of thunder fade into whispers of regret, the anti-hero stands alone, a figure carved from the very essence of darkness. The beauty of solitude envelopes them, a reminder that in the depths of despair, a profound truth rests. It is here, in this forsaken landscape, that one must confront the shadows that cling to their soul, the remnants of power abused and respect squandered. For those who wield dominance often find themselves ensnared in a web of their own making, a prison built upon the ashes of others' dreams. To look within is to face the abyss that lurks just beneath the surface, a reflection of fears, failures, and the insatiable hunger for control. The anti-hero knows all too well that true strength is not found in the ability to crush opponents but in the courage to confront one's own demons. The darkness within is not a foe, it is a mirror, reflecting the vulnerabilities that the powerful strive to conceal. It whispers truths that demand acknowledgement, urging a reckoning with the very foundations of pride and ambition that once seemed invulnerable. In this moment of self-examination, the anti-hero invites you to peel back the layers of your own facade. What shadows lurk in the corners of your heart? What fears have you buried beneath false bravado? The journey to understanding begins with a simple question: what are you afraid of? The answer lies buried within, waiting to be unearthed, for only in the light of honesty can true growth begin. The collective responsibility to face these shadows does not rest solely on the shoulders of the oppressor. It is a shared burden that binds us all in this tangled web of existence. As the anti-hero stands at the precipice of darkness, they recognize the necessity of collective healing. In a world torn apart by the arrogance of power, where the cries of the oppressed echo in the void, the path forward must be paved with understanding and compassion. It is not enough to merely acknowledge the pain, one must actively seek to mend the fractures within society, to dismantle the structures that perpetuate suffering. This responsibility calls for unity, a convergence of souls willing to confront their own shadows in order to illuminate the path for others. Yet, there is a danger in the pursuit of light. The allure of ambition can easily morph into a blind chase for validation and control, leading one down a spiral of isolation and paranoia. In the frigid grasp of power, the powerful often forget the warmth of connection, losing themselves in the very shadows they sought to escape. The irony is palpable. The desire to dominate breeds solitude, a chilling reminder that those who seek to rise above others often find themselves standing alone, surrounded by the very darkness they once commanded. But here lies the beauty of the anti-hero's journey. Within the shadows, one can find the path toward redemption. The darkness is not a place of despair, it is a crucible where true strength is forged. Embracing this darkness means recognizing that every scar, every wound, is a testament to survival. It is a proclamation that you have faced the storm and emerged, not unscathed, but transformed. The shadows become a source of power, a reservoir of resilience that fuels the fire within. As the anti-hero contemplates their own journey, they understand that the path towards light is not linear. It is a winding road filled with obstacles, each one an opportunity for growth. The lessons learned in the depths of despair become the stepping stones to greatness. Each misstep, every moment of weakness, is not a failure but a chance to rise anew, stronger and more enlightened. So, take a moment to gaze into that abyss within yourself. Embrace the darkness that you find there, for it is a part of who you are. Acknowledge your shadows, for they hold the keys to your strength. The path toward light is fraught with challenges, but it is also illuminated by the resilience that emerges when one chooses to confront their own truth. The anti-hero stands as a testament to this journey, a beacon for those still lost in the dark. They remind us that from the depths of our darkest moments, we can rise, not just to survive, but to thrive, transforming pain into power and despair into determination. Embrace the shadows within you. Share this message if you believe that true strength emerges from confronting our darkest fears. Leave a comment on how facing your own demons has transformed your life, and subscribe for more powerful insights from the depths of darkness. Remember, in the chaos of existence, it's our ability to rise from despair that truly defines us.